Times now it's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut, rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it is back to the rhymes. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I better go off this list right here. That one's mostly blocked. School Us album sales #1. I am hopeful about a potential sale, as hopeful as I could be at my workplace, because we got a guy there who is from the city, the Rotten Apple, as one rapper once called it. And but it's NYC, right? So he's from the home of hip hop, and he knows it. And we talked a little about it, but I haven't told him exactly what I've been doing musically, and I hope he's receptive. But let's just see if he's a collector or what's going on with that. But yeah, no sales this week. #2. I don't like sunsets much or country music, so I was at church today, Mosaic Church, looking for my friend. My daughter was attending a youth group get together, and but I didn't see him. So that was close though, man. I was in the house where I know him from, and I just didn't see him. He might have been there. I just didn't see him for the evening worship. So I will say that was an attempt to do something about the country song. If I'd seen him, I'd have been talking to him. #3, YouTube channel, social media. So I'm plugging away on sharing the Bed Red Volume 12. It's about 1 view per share, which is good for the cover and this whatnot. With the social media, we got Instagram. I think good. We're not getting the kind of likes or shares, but a good amount of views. 270. It's like the new. I don't want to say it's the new normal to go over 200, but that was a hard ceiling to get past for a long time, and now it's been happening more frequently. So I'm thankful for that. I had maybe 15 followers view it too, which is probably an all-time high. That was cool. So I'm happy about that. TikTok, I think they're about tied actually, TikTok and Instagram on this one. TikTok didn't do as well compared to what it normally does. But it's funny that it's just instant with TikTok. Instagram's way more of a slow burn, I guess, but TikTok had about 200 views, within 15 minutes of posting it. Instagram had 2. Now that might be the way it's going to be, and it might not be a good one, this latest reel, but we'll see. And then YouTube Shorts is really next to nothing. But the show, I'm getting about an hour a week of view, so I'll thank you for those of you who are checking it out. I appreciate it. Yes, I hope you're getting what you are looking for out of the program. And so that's all for that. Rules of engagement. Nothing to talk about. It has an idea, but so Bellevue Ballers. Nothing exactly. I bid on a new route at my work with the idea that if I need to go on the overtime list, I need that option. And with my current route, I couldn't help the station. I'd really put myself in a tough spot. And it's still possible I don't get this route, and anyway, I could see if I keep the route I have, I keep getting extra some overtime. But we'll see. I don't know if I'll get it, but if I get it, I think it allows me to take the overtime, take some of the pressure off. It hasn't been the pressure that there was up in before my vacation. We got some new people, so that's all good. My mental state's a lot better. Just got to pay attention to how the balance is doing. Music for Back to the Rhymes. Like I said, it's see my man over there. So we'll see. And we didn't talk about that at all, but more of the country music because that's more his interest and worship music. Merch. I got 2 of them up here now, right? Merch. When I talk to people about supporting a local artist, I can, if they don't have a CD player, maybe I don't even have to bring up the CD. I could talk about this. Depends how much they like supporting a local artist. But yeah, I see there's this fellow Locksmith who's got a new CD. I mean, you could see just to bring in revenue from what he's saying. Hey, buy the CD, get the autograph, buy the merch. That's part of the, how many people have CD players, but he just released a CD with the jacket, the whole thing. And I like it, man. First of all, thank God, because how I've done all my, like with this Better Bread, I'm not going to do digital, people. You got to have a physical CD. I'm not ranking. My life's not going to be around. I'm falling way behind on some of this stuff, but I could still catch up, but yeah, I haven't done it for years, but I would like to get back into rating these albums. But it's got to be a physical album. That's my standard right there. So if you don't have the album, I'm not going to rank it. This guy's got the album, and my daughter, get into K-pop stuff, and she's thinking, should I get vinyl? Should I have CDs, or do you have both? There's not much talk of 45s, but clearly, and I'd say collectors and enthusiasts for a group want that physical item. So there is a market if you've got enough game, or someone really likes to just collect. Certainly there's a market. Not a huge market, but it exists. Trump's going to thump, and I'll get into this song. I got stuff to share, and it's been coming up more and more. It's kind of anyway, I'll talk about it, but I'll just wait till then. All I can say, well, we got Nikki Haley still hanging around, an event that Trump doesn't make it. Yeah, no, there's no path. There's no path of victory for her. Even I was reading Newt Gingrich. Even if he were to make it, it would never go to her. Oh wow, Trump's out. Well, Nikki Haley. No, it doesn't work like that. So what is the point? Right, exactly. But the fact is, this is the best she'll ever do. Just like when Ted Cruz, came and set runner up. That's your shot. When Santorum, all these guys. I guess I could talk about Santorum, but DeSantis. This is their shot. So you're not going to get, I suppose, the Democrats, but they don't have as much talent, it seems, for candidates. By the way, I should say, when I see Biden walking around, I don't think he looks exactly seen. I think his back hurts. Like I've had back issues. The way he's walking, he's hurting. That's what my impression when I watch him walk. I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to exactly fall down. I think he's in pain, like someone who's got back issues. That's what I think. Just my thoughts. I've had that for sure. So you will be glorified. Yeah, nothing. I didn't see him today, my guy, but we'll see. All right. So the current events that I would like to talk about, maybe you've heard about this tragic murder. Her name's Laken Riley in Athens, Georgia. I should have looked on the map to see exactly where that is in Georgia, where the University of Georgia is. There's so many layers to this story, and it actually connects to the song I'm doing right now, believe it or not. So I was reading an article. So a couple of things. One, I ran cross country. I like baseball more than running. I never ran track, but I participate in cross country. I have a lot of respect for runners. Running really challenging, and I respect it. So one article I saw was from a fellow who runs that same track area, like in the woods or wherever she runs around the campus there. And he started out talking about the challenge. He thought the story was about, because we didn't know who done it. I guess they knew maybe she'd been murdered at the hands of a man. I think that was pretty clear. And again, my daughter's been interested in running and this kind of stuff, and I just sit here and I think, wow, how do you go about doing this? I mean, especially if you're running cross country, you run in groups, but if you're running in a cross country race, a real race, you're gonna have times where you're separated from packs of people very easily. So this is just an official race, not just going out for a run. So I think about safety for sure. He had mentioned in the article that he's in the running community. A lot of ladies have had a lot of issues of people watching them when they run, not feeling safe, maybe being engaged with the would-be assailant. Anyway, there's a lot there, right? So he was saying, wow, the problem is male violence. I was having a conversation with my friend Will about, so male violence, therefore, the best way to approach women is to convince them we are totally nice and safe and no threat whatsoever and Mr. Nice Guy. And that's kind of what I see happening with a lot of these guys who, what do they call it? Toxic masculinity. Yeah. So they're trying to be the opposite of that, and it comes off so weak, right? So that's not the solution in my mind, but that's what he thought. But then it came out that this guy's from Venezuela, should never been here. Now I'm hearing he was in New York. They had him, let him go. All this stuff about sanctuary cities, in case people don't know, big cities are sanctuary cities, are very liberal cities. They all go together. Very liberal, big cities, college towns, capitals. Those are the three hotbeds for liberalism. And of course, what goes with that, oftentimes sanctuary cities. And that's what you had at the University of Georgia, or in that area. So then you have that angle. Okay. So now you have, I guess I just heard there's a poll for the first time ever. The majority of people favor a building of a complete wall. I can't believe that's true, but okay. If it's true, then that doesn't sound right to me if that's the first time ever. I kind of doubt it. Whatever. So, yeah, it's just the closer it hits the home, the more people are going to be forced to deal with it. So it's tragic. This guy should have never been here. It was a brutal murder. His brother's here on the fake green card, and they're just flaunting it. So that's what it takes. It's sad though. But here to me is the real story, because here's where I for a lot of this stuff is kind of predictable. But what's the real big one? Guess who's the biggest outspoken critic of this? We got a president who's not doing his job. If he were doing his job, we wouldn't have this problem. Fake President Biden, Kemp, the guy, the anti-Trump, the Trump-hating Kemp, Governor Kemp in Georgia, the guy who he's an accomplice to a crime, like Newt said, and I thought he's an enabler. Him and his Secretary of State, they certified their election. They wouldn't let anyone. I don't know all the details, but you understand. And you know what he said? Kemp said, if Trump runs on the 2020 election being stolen or whatever, he's going to lose Georgia in 2024. So So what is he saying? He's saying he wants Trump to forget all about the steal, the thievery. Well, if you forget about what happened in 2020, then you're gonna go out here and act like there's not going to be any games played in 2024. Now, I guess Biden's doing so poorly in these polls that maybe the margin of error is getting so excessive that they might not be able to steal it. But I wouldn't take any chances. You better. It's kind of like, I always think about it like this: like if you're playing Jordan, the refs, Jordan, the star calls. The Democrats are Michael Jordan. They get everything going in their favor. The referees are going to favor them. The media is going to favor them. All the stealing and the shenanigans is going to favor them. So you're going to beat them bad. You're not going to let the refs decide the outcome. You're going to smoke them. So that's how I look at it. You better believe it. No thought, no doubt in the world. So better get out the vote. And what I heard is like so few people turn out the vote in general. All it takes is active people to help turn the vote out and you win. That's what it looks like to me. But here it is. Yeah, there's not going to be any enthusiasm for Biden. But I don't think nobody thought there was enthusiasm last time. How did he win last time, right? I thought it was going to be close. So that's why I don't pay too much attention to these polls or anything. Nothing gets me excited until the day after, until it's announced. And then they're not going to announce the results of the election for 5 months, 10 months, right? I mean, heck, who knows if Biden's supposed to be out by January 21st, they might not have the results of the election by then, right? If he's losing, gotta be prepared for all this stuff. All right, so anyway, I guess you see what I'm saying. What do they call it? Feign outrage or whatever? I might start the verse off like that. I don't know what that word means exactly, but it's like fake. But this guy, but that's the most frustrating thing to me. And Purdue couldn't beat him, I don't know if he ran a lackluster campaign or what, but I was glad I was doing the research, though. I sure was, to see what happened there. I thought I grabbed a clean sheet. Here it is. All right, so verse 3 of this. Oh, let me do what I have so far. And here we go. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count. You know that we's about it. Biden's bags of ballots. Got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count because that's the time to count it. And I finally put it's tricky. It's tricky on my hashtag. Finally, remember. There's election deniers. There's election fraud deniers. Which one requires plausible deniability? Which one sounds just plain silly? If you're unsure, I guess we know your camp. If you're cocksure, you think that you're a champ. I'm going to stop you there, Mr. President. Everything you're saying has not been made evident. All the experts have pored over the facts and have determined that your case lacks credibility. All the while you lack stability. Are you starting to see how this cannot be believed? Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count. You know that we's about it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count because you know that we's about it. I want to return to the ballot box. I want to go back to pulling the lever. I never want to stop voting with my neighbors, but y'all know them hustlers are clever. A part-time constituency is no match for a full-time. What we don't want to see, which are career politicians, which are akin to magicians. They pull the money out of thin air. They pull in policy out of thin air. They pull their imagined support out of thin air. They definitely pulling ballots out of thin air. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count because know that we's about it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll stop the count. You know that we's about it. So right there is close to 3 minutes. But it's going longer. I'm going to keep going. Not going to let it go. Because like I said, nothing bothers me more than this. Simple. It's simple. I mean, if you got an enemy within your party, that's tough, man. There's a lot of them, but this dude takes the cake. Okay, feign, is it feign outrage? I'm just gonna see if I can figure it out. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let me see how I'm gonna put this together. Might be like I won't even name him till the end of the verse kind of thing, you know. But this is a joke. FEI is what I think it would be. I'll never try to figure it out. Feisty thing. Okay. To give a false appearance of shame, to represent falsely, pretend to. All right, so that nails the word, and I heard it. Probably listening to Rush or something. All right, so he's feigning outrage. Fabricating, exactly. He's feigning outrage. I kind of want to say he's flaming. Feigning outrage. I also wanted to say he's foaming at the mouth. Okay, I'll say that. He's foaming at the mouth. I'm just going to go a whole verse on this guy. I've got a lot of passion for this. He's flaming. He's flaming. I don't know if I can say it like that. He's flaming hot on the stage, but not like that, right? You know, flamer. No. Flaming hot on the stage, but I'm going to say this. I'm just saying it. Someone has to know what I'm talking about. He's flaming hot on the stage. Oh. It's your boy from down south. Claiming the border ain't locked. Saying He wants. Oh, oh, his daughters went to that school. Saying he wants. That's it. Tell us what you want, bro. Saying he wants. Safety on the blocks. Now this Sanctuary City stuff, if you hear about it, it's amazing that harboring a fugitive, right? So that's what they're doing, right? Now, I wonder what city he's from. It can't be that hard. I mean, because that's an extreme left position. That's an extreme left. But if you want cheap labor, you might go for it, right? Okay. Claiming the border ain't locked. Saying he wants safe blocks. Safety on the block. Harboring, I've heard the phrase a million times. Harboring a fugitive. I just want to. They're not even really fugitives, though. They're being kind of let in, It's like they're fugitives are running from, I guess, the federal government, ICE or whatever, but let's look at this. Now, this locksmith guy said, I'm not really, educated. I'm not KRS-One, I don't know, maybe I am. KRS-One's KRS-One. I mean, I always thought like that. Let's use this opportunity to educate. It shouldn't be boring. We can have good music. Critical. Can't just talk and not have good sounding music. But we could have substantive music. Maybe that's a song. Substantive something. All right. Harboring. We know the word harbor. What is harbor? It's area of still water or something like that. So I'm curious to see what the exact definition of that is. Harbor, a sheltered part of the body of water deep enough to provide anchorage for ships, a place of shelter, refuge. Place of shelter, and so harboring, right? So that point, a sanctuary, a refuge, right? Harboring. What's a fugitive? I mean, just as like something that you just hear in crime shows or just a basic term. But isn't that amazing? How does that's why you can't have any respect for the law in these places. Fugitive, running away or fleeing as from the law. You're providing shelter from those fleeing from the law. All right. So saying he wants safety on the block. There's got to be a stop. To the harboring of fugitives. Well, I didn't get all that far in this one. Maybe it's halfway through the verse, I guess you could say. Next time, I'll check you out. Back to the rhymes.